In this video, I'm going to be going over the different parts of the airbag. There are many parts that make up the airbag that most people do not realize. Now, I'm going to show you each part of the airbag and tell you just how it works and how they keep a person safe when they land on it. The first thing I'm going to be showing you is the red square that's in the very center of the airbag. Now, the square is called the focus point. When getting ready to perform a fall, you want to line yourself up with this very square. Then, as you're falling, you want to keep your eye on the square. The reason is, most of the time where you are looking, that's going to be the spot that you're going to land on. If possible, you want to have your body hit this very center square. Some airbags do not have a center square, but a white stripe that runs across the center of the airbag. With this, you want to try and picture a square in the center of the airbag, which would be now considered the focus point. Now the next part is the outer square that you see. This is called the safe zone of the airbag. When you land on the airbag, you want to have your body inside of this square. If you do not, then you risk the chance of bouncing or sliding off the edge of the airbag and getting hurt. Now I'm going to be telling you about the parts that make up the upper chamber of the airbag. Now, the main function of the upper chamber is to absorb all or most of the force of the person landing on it. This is done by letting air escape out of the airbag through vents called breathers. Now, there is a breather on the left and right side of the airbag. This is so that when you land, air escapes out through the breathers evenly. Here's a little demo on how the breathers work. The breathers are kept closed by flaps that are tucked into the airbag. The breathers also help closed by two bungee straps. As you can see, the breathers are inflated in a separate chamber from the rest of the upper part of the airbag. This is if you roll off the side of the airbag too quickly, the inflated breathers will help stop you so that you do not roll off the side of the airbag and get hurt. Here is a slight demo of the breathers at work as you roll off the side of the airbag. You don't want to have anything up close to the breathers. The reason is, when you land, you want the air to escape easily and evenly out. If there's anything up against the breathers, then they will not work correctly. Also, with the bungee cords, you can adjust the firmness of the airbag. Now, some stunt performers like a stiff landing, while others, like myself, like a very soft landing. Also, once you've landed and rolled off of the airbag, you want to go to each side and tuck the breather flaps back into the airbag. This is so that the airbag can inflate back up and be ready for the next fall. See here is the overflow vents. Now there's one located in the front of the airbag and there's one in the back of the airbag. Now these vents help keep the airbag from overinflating and opening the breathers before you land. Now I'm going to be going over the parts that make up the lower chamber of the airbag. Now the main function of the lower chamber is to absorb the rest of the force of a person landing that the upper chamber does not. The lower chamber is kept inflated by blowers. The blowers then are also connected to blower tubes. Now this airbag design has two blowers that are connected to the lower chamber. Now some airbag designs you see have one blower connected to the lower chamber and one connected to the upper chamber. Smaller airbags have just one blower connected to the lower chamber of the airbag. Now the blowers are kept going at all times during the fall and after the landing. This is so that the person landing has a nice, safe, soft landing and slowly sinks into the airbag. Now I'm going to be telling you about the different parts of the airbag that are inside of it. These are the parts of the airbag that most people do not get to see. Now, to get inside the airbag, you have to crawl through one of the breathers just like this. Here, this is the back side of the breathers. In this picture, you can see better how the breathers are a separate chamber from the rest of the upper chamber of the airbag. You can also see how the flaps are tucked into the airbag and help keep air inside of the airbag until somebody has landed on it. That runs from the lower chamber to the breathers. Now this tube just helps keep the breathers inflated. That you see on top of the lower chamber, this just lets air flow from the lower chamber up into the upper chamber. This is how the upper chamber is kept inflated. Now there is a vent at each corner and that helps keep the upper chamber of the airbag inflated evenly at all times. Connected to the top of the airbag and to the lower chamber is the baffling system. This helps keep the top of the airbag flat and keeps the airbag its rectangular shape. Without these baffles, the top of the airbag would be rounded more and harder to safely land on it, for it would be much easier to bounce or slide off the edge of the airbag. The netting that runs across the top of the upper chamber, this is the safety net. In case you were to fall through the upper chamber, the net will catch you and make for a safe landing into the airbag. You can also see that the safety net is the same size as the safe zone on the airbag. This is also why you want to land within this area of the airbag. It has the same baffling system as the upper chamber. Now, instead of 2 baffles, the lower chamber has 5. Also, netting is used so that the air can flow evenly through the baffling system and air can flow evenly throughout the whole entire airbag. I'm going to be telling you about is the 3 humps that you see here. Now, these 3 humps help keep the person on the airbag. When a person lands, the 2 outer humps will lift up, creating a pocket for a safe landing. And it would also help keep the person in the center. Now, if they were to land a little bit to the left or to the right on the airbag, when the humps lift up, it'll help push the person more into the center of the airbag, keeping that person safe as they land. Alright, now here is a quick demo of just how the 3 humps work when a person lands onto the airbag.